gonna be one pale morning, oh, middle of the night, when I come round to take your life. I know it will feel alright, 'cause you can bury me underground, paved over for good measure. I'm a revenant baby, and I'll be back. He's a revenant. 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 Be sure to watch your six. I'm out with the boys tonight, and if we see your cheating face, well, you're in for a fight, my darling, 'cause you can try to drown me, babe, but I won't sleep with the fishes. I'm a revenant lady, and I'll be back. He's a revenant. 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 Watch out now! He's a revenant. I'm a revenant. He's a revenant. Let's go now! Alright! Here's on! I'll be back! I'll be back! I'm a revenant. I hear her alright while resting my eyes, like a sigh in the night, like a maggot in the pie. She's calling my name while I give it a try, like a thin veil of rain, like a sip of fine rye. I'm a softy, softy man, but she'll take me back. I got nowhere to hide. I'm a fraud and I'm a hack, but I won't be taken aback. She's calling my name under dusty black sky, like a beast to be tamed, like a stamp on my thigh. I hear her all night with my eyes wide open, like a whisper in the dark that makes my belly burn. I'm a softy, softy man, but she'll take me back. I got nowhere to hide. I'm a fraud and I'm a hack, but I won't be taken aback. I'm a softy, softy man, but she'll take me back. I got nowhere to hide. I'm a fraud and I'm a hack, but I won't be taken aback. soft demand, but she'll take me back. I got nowhere to hide. I'm a fraud and I'm a hack, but I won't be taken aback. City lights so far away, on a trip or a long holiday. Take a drive downtown without a care, 'cause you're high, I wanna be there. I wanna be there. City stars, pretty at night, sparkle softly, gems in the sky. I know you see them, I know you know that I love you wherever you go, wherever you go. City winds, blustery and cold, touches everything, makes it feel old. But you want me, always discreetly. You complete me, and I never wanna let you go.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, and perhaps even good evening. Thank you so much for dropping by and joining me for another exciting session of what we like to call the 3D Shenanigans. Brian, you might absolutely be right. Perhaps too many people are watching porn and cat videos today, and so the internet has issues. Mr. Nate, Mr. Brian, Miss Nancy is here. Very good to see you all. Very good, very good. I believe Julia is watching as well. Miss Julia, how you doing? Very nice. I think we're all having pasta today, leftover or freshly cooked. It doesn't matter. It's all good stuff, isn't it? So speaking of the internet, I'm doing something rather weird today. I am actually streaming from my main internet connection. Hello, Mom. That's good to hear. Hello, Dragonade's mom. Good to see you. Good to see you. Are you having pasta as well? So main internet connection is the one that often on short notice just completely drops out. But it looks like today it's looking okay. So let me know when things are starting to buffer and we'll start, hopefully unbuffering it. Daja is here. Good to see you, Daja. Very good to see you. Yes, give Mr. Nate a shout out. Nate was very kind this morning. He has helped me out with a great Discord problem that I was having, that some of our supporters are no longer active, but they're part of the Discord community, of my Discord community. If you donate, then you usually get in, and when you stop donating, you don't get kicked out. You hang around, but now you're in a class of your own called the erstwhile supporters, and you still have access to one chat channel, but you don't get kicked out. You're still there, but you don't have access to the ongoing exciting communications that we have about 3D software and all the rest of it. Very cool. So thank you so much for that, Nate. Speaking of donations, viewers like you make this program possible. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's like on what's it called? On PBS. Very, very cool. So today I have some interesting things planned, many of which might actually just not work. So bear with me. Let's see how it goes. First of all, I've just downloaded the latest version of the Blender. One-off donation. Now I'm donating 10 a month to the Blender fund, so that's good. Actually, I'm a Blender Cloud subscriber, I believe, or Blender Studio subscriber, as they're called. A new version has come out probably like 3 months ago, and I've totally missed it. It is Blender 3.6. LTS or no, I don't know, but I haven't tried it yet, so I want to go and try that out. I've downloaded it, but I haven't installed it yet, so that's going to be number one of the stuff I'm going to do. Number two is that's on the Blender Market. There is a program that I've just updated to, and that is called the UV Packmaster 3. I already had UV Packmaster. Why do we not see it? What a shame. Maybe is it like just one word? UV Packmaster 2 I already had. There we go. This is it. So I've upgraded to 3, which is nice. And that is something else I wanted to install. So usually when you upgrade Blender, it goes and upgrades all your plugins with you. So I think 3.6 will then come with 2, I guess. But I want to upgrade it to 3. So that's another scary thing I want to try out. I want to try another thing that I'm already using, and it's called SimpleBake, and that is a really funky little tool, SimpleBake, that can bake one, by the haughty grey alien, that can bake one UV set onto another inside Blender relatively comfortably. And I want to see if that works with Blender 3.6. Blender 3.6 also has its own new UV packing kind of mechanism. And to test all this out, because I don't want to just stop there, I want to go and try this game-ready, animation-ready character from the 3D Scanstore known as Female 11. That's a good title, isn't it? Female 11. So I'm going to go and try to wrap her around the Genesis 9 figure and hopefully also transfer the texture. So previously I've tried this with the built-in Dash Studio mechanism, in which we can turn all the UDIM tiles into a single tile, and now I want to use SimpleBake to do that. So that is the plan. Blender first, UV Packmaster 3, then SimpleBake, then we're going to go and try and wrap this lady around Genesis 9. Are you ready for this? Nothing can possibly go wrong. Let's see. We're going to start with Blender, of course. That is a simple matter of extracting it all and extracting it basically to my Blender folder here. That's where all my Blender bits and pieces live. That could take a couple of minutes. Extract now. You can do that with wrap, Darja. Yes, that is possible. So anything that looks relatively similar to Genesis, you can wrap Genesis around and then import that as a morph. Yes, that is possible. And if that something happens to have textures, then we can convert those textures as well. So the way this works is that Genesis has multiple UDIM tiles. I'll show you this in Blender in a second, and they need to be amalgamated onto a single tile. And then Genesis, both Genesis and your source scan, they need to have a single UDIM tile kind of source texture. Then wrap can go and convert that, and then we can go and re-split those out again with SimpleBake. So yes, 3D explosions, not computer explosions. Oh yeah, indeed. That's what we're totally going to talk about. This female character 11. I believe I can use her for my own personal bits and pieces and for this demonstration, but I could never, ever sell the resulting product on any of the 3D marketplaces because that's like totally not on. Very, very important. Yes, Nate, let's do scary things together. First of all, installing this. Hey, do you know, this is kind of cool. I ordered myself two, and I don't have it here, but I ordered myself two super tiny 512 gigabyte USB things, and I wanted to test the speed difference between USB 3.1 and 3.2 on my PlayStation 5, because I can run PlayStation 4 games off those sticks directly. And I've bought two actually, one USB 3.1, one USB 3.2, and I wanted to kind of pitch them against one another. It turns out Amazon sent me two 3.2 ones, so there we go. I tried some wrapping this morning. Didn't quite work out so well. Got to be brutally honest with you. This is what happened. So I'm gonna try and avoid that. So it kind of starts, and this is, I think, not female 11. This is female 4, but she had some similar issues. So the face kind of settles nicely, and then the mouth kind of goes does this. That's not good. Yikes. You have plain scanned white OBJs that contain body measurements and want to convert them to G8. Yes, that works. That's actually really simple with wrap. So yes, that is super easy. Wrap, actually, the company has just changed their name from Russian 3D scanner to Faceform. So I'm going to use the latest version, but if you still have the old version, it's not actually a problem. So it used to be called Russian3dscanner.com, but now that domain actually resolves to Faceform, and the app is still exactly the same. They still have the standalone version here. That's the one that you need for that, Darja. And then ZWrap or ZWrap is the plugin inside ZBrush. That's kind of, if you don't want to get the standalone version, you can also use the ZBrush integrated version, but I'm using this one here, that. And yeah, great program, still is. There's some neat new features in there, but they're not, yeah, the old one, perfect. Yeah, the new one, I'll show you the new one today. It's not worth upgrading in my considered opinion. For what I'm doing, the old version works pretty fine still, and it looks almost exactly the same. So yeah, good. I'm glad you have it, because it's really cool. Brian, that actually, this issue that happened even with no alignment points. So this is I think with nothing, no alignment points at all. And then I started adding some to hold this geometry in place. So I tried to hold the mouth in place, and that didn't work. The chin kind of always jumped down, and I tried to hold the nose in place. It just all jumped down. So I'm hoping we can, A, we don't have that problem with female 11, and B, if we do, maybe we can solve it. So it's really weird. I don't know what happened there. And the first subdivision iteration works fine, and then the moment the second one kicks in, it just, it falls apart. I don't know why. I don't know why that happens. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's crazy. We're talking about the Blender plugins. I'll talk about this in a second. They are also important. One is to amalgamate the UV maps, and the other one is to rebake them from one to another, so that you can use the textures. We'll totally talk about this. Let's see. First of all, Blender. Where are you, Blender? Of course, totally lost it now. There on my C drive. Here we go. Blender 3.6. That's the one. So 3.60. I've been using 3.5 up until now. I'm always using these versions here. But that, how did I do that with these guys? I just make myself a shortcut in here. Perfect. So I'll do the same thing here with Blender. I'm going to go and create a shortcut here somehow. How do I do that again? New shortcut. Yes. Browse to. This is how I do it. So I can go and launch these things fast. Where are things? Where's my C drive? Here. Good stuff. Blender 3.6, and this is the one we're gonna execute. There's some parameters. If I start it this way, I can add some parameters to this, and most importantly, I can now go and add this pin to start. There we go. Now I can go and launch it from here. That's Blender 3.6. I suppose I can go and get rid of this. So unpin that. Blender 3.6 gets put into his place. So there we go. This is the old version of Wrap, new version of Wrap, old version of Blender, new version of Blender. It's all good. It's all good. We like parameters. Yes, absolutely. Do you know, Brian, and it still works fine, doesn't it? Sometimes you think, hey, is the newest version of Blender really necessary? I usually try to stay away from the 0.0 releases. Usually I wait until the 0.1 or 0.2 comes out, and on 3.5 I totally missed it. So I want to go and load my 3.5 settings here because I want everything to be the same as it was. See if that works, including the plugins. So this also brings in the plugins now. Maybe that's why it takes such a long time. Ah, there we go. Perfect. I love it. Aha. That still works. I've got my large outlines. This is all exactly how I expected. So let's have a look at the plugins then. The one hasn't updated. That is SimpleBake. So that is still in here, I think. Down here, I think on this tab here, the render tab. If I go and scroll down, there we go. Newer version of SimpleBake is available. Update automatically in the settings panel. So this is already installed and this is working. And this, we can use this to bake one UV set to another. Let me just go and update that. So edit preferences, add-ons, and that's SimpleBake. Update. All right. SimpleBake 3.3.5. There we go. That was it. Restart Blender. We can do that. We can totally do that. That's the first plugin already taken care of, I think. Sebastian, how's it going? Good to see you. Alert. I do like the new start screen, I gotta say. Okay, good. So that's taking care of that, I think. SimpleBake, okay, that's still in here. Okay, then the second plugin that I need to update kind of more manually is under UV editing, and that's on here. That is called UV Packmaster. So mine is still UV Packmaster 2, and this is a little bit more complicated. So that's not just a plugin that's in here under the preferences settings here. Actually here, isn't it? Edit preferences settings. This also requires an external little program that you get with it, and that does the actual work. So it's kind of a two-part process. What this does is that if you had multiple objects joined together, and let me just go and show you that. So GZ1, I'll just go move this guy over here, and I'll add perhaps another like icosphere. GZ1, perfect. And let's just say, whoops. Let's say these two objects are now joined. So I'll say Control J, and this now, if I go into edit mode with that, these are now both one object. As a result, if I go into the UV editing, these are both overlapped. So if I wanted to texture this in Substance Painter, this isn't going to work because the UVs are overlapped. So I can either split them up into UDIM tiles, or I can go and utilize Blender's internal packing mechanism to make sure these don't overlap. And that is, I believe, over here under UV, they did say they had some funky little new bits and pieces. So this average island scale, well, we need to go do this here, actually, like that, perfect. So UV, we need to do the average island scale that the texel density is the same. And now we can go UV and pack islands. And we can go exact shape, scale rotates, all good, closest UDIMs, all good. And then that happens. So they're now no longer overlapped. So I think that's improved slightly in Blender 3.6, but this is essentially what UV Packmaster is really good at, and it lets me pack this a little bit more efficiently, both 2 and 3. So I basically have this button here that says pack, and it goes and calculates this, and has now given me this. So I don't know if that's better, but it's, I guess, under advanced options I can also do normalize islands. So this is now part of the normalizing the texel density. Pack, and then it does this. So now it has done that. So it's, you can do that both in Blender, but if you have a ton of little mini UV islands, then Packmaster is a really nice little thing. So this says UV Packmaster 2. Let's see if we can install UV Packmaster 3. SimpleBake Daja is only $17, and UV Packmaster is 40, I think. Let me put those into the chat. UV Packmaster, this one here, $44. So if you do that a lot, then this is a good idea. Let me see if I can quickly find our chat here. Maybe this is it. Perfect. With a nice little image here. Some UV Packmaster. Actually, Brian could paste those links. What am I doing? Brian could do it, but I've got him here. And this one is SimpleBake. This one, we're going to talk about this later. This is 17 bucks here. This is a good purchase as well. And this is a SimpleBake. There we go. Perfect. And then also for completion here, this is the female character that I'm going to wrap later. So female 11, to see if this actually works. Oh, and then this here is the wrapping application while we're at it. So this is the face form wrap. There we go. Brian's on his day off today. So let's see how we can update this. So I believe the first thing we need to do, Brian's, his weekend is already over. Give the man a chance. I'm going to go over to Edit Preferences, and I'm going to go and untick this. No, actually, I'm just going to remove it here. That is what we're going to do. Remove. Okay, perfect. Remove add-on. Perfect. That's done it. And apparently, we're also supposed to restart Blender. That's that. What do we do now? We Packmaster. This is the engine here. I need to install that somewhere. Let me go and run that. If it's an exe, I think. Protect your PC. That's all good. Run anyway. It's all good here. End user license agreement. You agree to not sell this on anywhere. There we go. Program file sounds like a good place for it to be. Maybe I need to remember where that is. So this installs quite a lot, and this is the standalone object or program that gets called from the plugin inside Blender. The developer actually says that if you do have UV Packmaster 2, don't feel obliged to upgrade. I think just for that line alone, I thought, yes, I will upgrade. Thank you. Yes, Eula Skip. That's a good name for a character. Eula Skip. Oh, finished puzzles. Good stuff. All right, perfect. That is that. We have that. Now we go and start that again, I think. This is exciting, isn't it? I'm so glad I can do this together with you. Now we go. So, oh yeah, now, just to be sure here, I don't have any UV Packmaster here. No, I've got the Substance plugin, but I haven't got any UV Packmaster here. That's good to know. So, Edit Preferences. Install. And that should be under the downloads in man. UV Packmaster 3. There we go. That could be it. Install. Aha. Enable. And it probably wants me to set that engine path. So I just need to tell it where the thing was installed. Oh, it already assumes it's in program files UV Packmaster 3. That is good. That's pretty neat. And it's already in here. So ha ha ha. UV Packmaster. Buddy, you're back. Good. And we have normalized islands here. That's now here. That's no longer under the advanced thing. And we have pack still. But there's also overlap check. We don't have any. Oh yeah, we haven't selected anything. Overlap check. Stay. Oh, look at that. That's nice snazzy little font there now. That's good. Overlapping. No overlapping islands detected. That's good. Pack. Oh, it tells me things. Ooh, that is nice. So we're going to make full use of that when we come to packing Genesis 9's UDIMs. In fact, why don't we start with that? That's actually a good test case. Do we have that studio open? Here we do. That is exciting, isn't it? Let's go and grab a brand new scene here. And then, since my target character is going to be Genesis 9, or at least that's the plan, let's grab our Genesis 9 def load, like so. And I've shown on a previous occasion how we can pack all these individual UDIMs onto one single tile. And we need that so that the wrap program can go and transfer female 11's texture, which is also on a single UDIM tile, onto this single UDIM tile. And then we can use SimpleBake to resplit that. But I need Packmaster to do this process in the first place. So Dash Studio has something like that built in, but it's a bit cumbersome. And if we can just make that, let that job be handled by Packmaster in Blender, that's kind of, it's kind of a cool idea. So let me go and export this out to wrap test. I like it. I have a folder called OBJs here, and that's going to be Genesis 9 base. I'm going to do this at Blender scale, so, well, Modo scale, and I'm going to just use this object, and that's that, base resolution. So I'm going to go and open this file in Blender. In fact, get rid of everything here. Oh, it's even retained my shortcuts. I like it. I've got the Q key set up to give me import and export OBJ options here. That's really neat. So wrap test OBJs, and I'll go and bring this in. Scale 1, don't split. Import. Boom, perfect. So that's Genesis 9. And if I go over to UV editing and select, say, faces, and then select everything, then you can see the problem. So it's 5 UDIM tiles. In Genesis 8 we had many more, and I want to use Packmaster to combine all these into a single UDIM tile. And so that I don't lose this setup with the split tiles, I'm going to go over here to the right under UV maps, and I'm going to go and add another one. So UV map is just the regular one. And the next one is going to be my combined one. I'll just call that one combined UVs. And UV map here, this one I'm going to call original G9 UVs, just so that I remember what that is. So currently they're both the same, and that's quite nice. I'm going to switch over to the combined one and let Packmaster pack all these into a single UDIM tile. So you can see here that the fingernails occupy a whole UDIM tile. So these are the fingernails here. But if you look at the fingers here, you'll see that this is technically a larger texture space than it is here. And this is a principle known as the texel density. The texel picture density type thing is different here versus here. So this has more resolution than that. On a single UDIM tile, we probably want that to be the same. We want that to be distributed. Otherwise, if you were to put a checker texture onto the figure, then it'll be smaller here than it is here, and that shows you, the distribution of the pixels isn't exactly the same. So likewise, the face, if the face has this resolution, which is good, but if we look at the body, then the body has less resolution than the face. So by normalizing the islands, we make sure that the texel density is the same everywhere. So that, with everything selected, we can just use with the normalize islands thing. And I'm just going to go pack, and that should do the trick. Ding, perfect. Look at that. Just as a comparison, because I'm a curious fella, I'm going to go and have Blender do the same thing, and then we'll see what Blender's layout is. So it is probably the same kind of, quality, I would imagine. I'm just duplicating that again. I'm going to call this combined by Blender. And instead of the UV Packmaster, I'm going to use this one here, UV Average Island Scale. That has done that, so it's now just averaged everything so that the face and the body and the fingernails have the same textile density. And now I can go to say UV, this is Blender's built-in thing, Pack Islands. Method any, margin scale, margins all good. Boom. Aha. And now we can compare. This is what Blender thinks is a good layout. And this here is, whoops, this is what Packmaster thinks is a good layout. So Blender versus Packmaster. I don't see much of a difference. Actually, no, I do see, like, if you look at the fingers, they appear to be a little more maximized. So Packmaster tries to maximize literally every single item that you have there. UV Packmaster Master activate, yes. Yes, actually, yes. So my plan, Brian, is to export this Genesis 9 now into wrap. And then I can wrap the figure and then transfer the texture. And then I'll go and take that texture back into Blender. And then I have SimpleBake turn this, like, bake that out into that, if that makes sense. That's the plan. I don't know if it's going to work. That is the plan. Yes, they are a bit creepy, aren't they? Yeah, so the texture transfer from one model to this is actually still happening in wrap, but the baking to be split out into the multiple UDIMs, that's going to happen in Blender with SimpleBake. Okay, so this can now be, I think, exported out. I think. Wrap test into G9 combined, I'll call it. And materials, what happened to the materials actually? I didn't actually look at that. We still have all the material zones here. That's probably okay to leave them intact, right? I'm thinking. I think. We're not losing or gaining anything. G9 combined. Selected only if it is actually selected. Yeah, perfect. I think. Let's see, Brian, this is going to be exciting. Come on. And Brian and I have decided actually the old version of Wrap is working just fine. But while I've got the newest one for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so, I might just use it and show you, Daja, if this, if you want to have a look at it. It looks almost exactly the same. It pretty much does look exactly the same as the previous one. And this is what you would do with your sized OBJ as well. So it looks exactly like the old version, basically. So load geometry. This is going to be G9. And then we're going to go and use another one, load geometry. This is going to be my scan, or female 11 or whatever. So we'll go and load Genesis. Wrap test. Might as well copy the path here. G9 combined. I need the combined version just for the texture transfer. Otherwise, you could just use the non-combined version. It'll, for wrap, it'll work just the same. So that's Genesis. And then we have our Scan Lady. Maybe I'll go and change. Yeah, I'll go do Scan Lady now. She was in female 11, and I'm not sure if they gave me some OBJs. No, they didn't actually. I've taken this one out, but it's 4 GB in size. So this is a really high res version. So I think I'm going to go and export that quickly from ZBrush, so I don't have a lower res OBJ just for the wrap, because 4 GB is going to be that might be much. I mean, I can try. I'd rather just, you know, make myself a slightly slimmer version there. It is a fast process. Yes, it is a fast process. The biggest hurdle is getting this right, getting the wrap right. Yeah, making a good wrap, that's sometimes a little tricky. Okay, so they give you ZTL files, which is really nice. ZTL files, and they're the ones that load in ZBrush as a tool, and from those you can then go and derive all kinds of other things. So it's like 800 meg, but it has, I don't know, like 150 million points and all. So crazy stuff that. Okay, perfect. Left click and drag out. I love it. T, F. There we go. That's the character. And yeah, this is a bit heavy. So active polygons 32 million. So that's a lot. So I can go and subdivision 6. I'm going to go and turn that down to maybe 2. I don't want to make it too low res, but that's probably going to be enough still. I'm also going to go and, oops, sorry, lady. I'm going to go and get rid of the eyebrows and eyelashes here. I can also give you regular skin tone here. I think resolution wise, this is nice. So here, she has a complete mouth bag as well, mouth and tongue and everything, but we don't want to see that and that. Gonski, so that makes wrapping a little bit easier if that isn't part of the OBJ. And now let's go export this. I'll call her, yeah, female 11 low res, maybe. Maybe SD. That should be good. Writing OBJ, this could take a while. Hey, Mr. Chris, how's it going? Hey, there we go, we've done it already. So that'll be easier on the engine. Mr. Chris is here. I love it. Just in time for the big experiment. Chris, I've just upgraded to where the color pickers change, which is nice. I've just upgraded to UV Packmaster 3 from 2, and I'm, you know, super excited about this. So the first thing I see is that they're not quite in the same space here. So I could manually move the scan so that they're more in the Genesis space. Or I could try one of those scary new nodes, Brian, that I've always been meaning to do. What was it called again? It's kind of the align node that aligns one to be in the position of another. That I always wanted to try out. Align. Or was that not align? Was that maybe geometry? I thought it was alignment. Rigid alignment? Was that it? Packmaster is so helpful, isn't it? Do you know, I've been trying to upgrade 2 to 3 for the longest time, and that discount code wouldn't work, and it's finally started working, so I'm gonna... I thought, yeah, that's good. $11, well invested. Such a helpful tool. Wasn't camera, wasn't selection. You'd imagine it's align, isn't it? Alignment. Rigid alignment. Like a pop-up help would be good, wouldn't it? Only the nodes know. Transfer angular geometry. Apply subset. Copy transform, that's the one. Copy transform, that's the one I meant. So it goes and takes geometry to copy transform from, which is that. Whoops. Dude. Here. And then this is that. And this is allegedly is where we've put it to. No, that hasn't even worked. Switch the wireframe off here for a second. That totally hasn't worked. I'm severely disappointed. They're both in the same spot. It's Packmaster, master now. That's totally it. So, okay, forget the copy transform. That totally didn't work. So we'll go and just do this manually. So with scan selected, I think the height is pretty much good here, but that needs to, feet need to go in that place. Wasn't there also a way to kind of snap this? S aligns camera to axis. There we go. That's what I've been trying to figure out. That should do the trick. She could also turn to the back a little bit, I suppose. Shoulders are a little off here, so if I go and put that, whoops. Yeah, that's a very, there's no fine control here, is there? Let's say minus 0.7, minus 0.6, 6 is good. And the hands we're working on. So let's see how this goes. So Daja, this is the process that ideally works really, really simple. So in alignment, you've got the fast wrapping node, and you're going to put the source geometry into here. And this is going to be your fixed geometry, which is the scan. And then you can also have point correspondences, but in an ideal world, it might just work just like that. And if we're lucky, the program can work most of it out, and I think it can. So if I go and remove the scan now, we can, whoops, not remove the scan, but remove the original Genesis geometry. We have them pretty much in the same space, and we don't have any facial issues. So jaw seems to be holding up fine. They're pretty much in the same position. Hey, this is already good. So it's usually, then the only thing that we may have issues with is the fingers here. So if I go and bring the scan back, yeah, fingers are a little clunky. So that's something we can correct, but everything else looking fine and dandy. Toes, that's another cause for concern, but look, toes, they look good as well. I don't even worry about the toes. That is very nice. I like it. The finger, yeah, the finger, we're going to take care of the finger now. Yeah, this has a little bit of the similar issue that the original Genesis 1 figure had. So these polygons on the breasts are a bit stretched now. So we could, if we wanted to, move this over, but I think the loop is actually in the correct space. So that's really where we want that to be. But just be mindful that this may cause some stretching on the textures. If you're not happy with that, or if you have a model with much larger distortions, like, you know, pregnancy morph, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, then you may need to basically re-UV map this if you're concerned about that. But I'm gonna be okay with it for now. Face and eyes, ears are good actually. Ears, eyes, lips. Lips good, nose good. We're good, right? I'm thinking. I'm always surprised when things come out just so well. Other times it doesn't work at all. So I'm, you know, I'm just. That's good. There's the deviant finger morph. Yes, exactly. Let's take care of the finger. So that's alignment. Not alignment, selection. Select point pairs. And that'll be from the source geometry and the target geometry. And then we're going to go put that into the wrapping node here. And then that goes away. But then we can go to the visual editor. She's probably not symmetric. I mean, she might be. But I would imagine she's not, because if it is a scan, even if it's cleaned up, it's probably not going to be symmetric. Yeah, so this is what the program couldn't work out. So we'll just go and tell it, hey, we need these points, top of the fingers here, or thereabouts, on the top of these fingers here. This is such a cool program. I love Wrap. It's just so cool. The stuff it can do. That's one hand. Other hand. It'd be really cool if we can make it work with the texture conversion as well. Whoops, sorry. That's not where I want that point to be. She's got long fingernails, this model, so longer than Genesis. So that's that. Let's just see if now we need to just rewrap this. Fingers in the right place, come on. It is, right? The eyes, well, in Genesis 9's case, the eyes are separate. So I could go, she has separate eyes and ZBrush. So I could literally go and hide the body. ZBrush, hide the body. Doesn't want to hide the body. But if I were to do that, then I could literally go and export the eyes manually, separately, and then just do the same thing with the eyes so that they're in the same position. But in all likelihood, the Genesis 9 default eyes are probably going to work. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's see if we're happy with this result. If so, let's see what the texture transfer does. The fingers are good. Do you think we need to correct anything, Brian? Could have a look at the feet and stuff and just go and do that quick correction with the brush node. I don't think it's necessary. I think we're good. Flat feet, I like it. Possible. Hiding bodies, yes. Sometimes the eyes, they might just get a little bit crinkly, so I'll take the brush node and just tidy that up a little bit. But I think before we do that, just so that we don't have to rewrap it, I'm going to go and load myself an image, which is her texture. I don't know if we have anything other than oh, we've got all these textures. So we've got a micro normal even. Dang, brother, that's amazing. 16K normals. Yes, okay. That's crazy good. Oh, we even have a version with no knickers. Oh, nice. Knickers and no knickers. Will I get banned from YouTube? Let's try the knickers version first. See how that goes. 16K. I don't even know if this program can handle it, but I didn't know we had a specular and a roughness, and we've got them all here. That's fantastic. And a normal. This is great. So body color, let's try that. This could take a moment. So that's one thing. Perfect. It works. That is one thing I'd like to test actually with the old version. Can the old version load this? Because the Deviant says the old version is limited to 10K texture maps. 16K he reckons is not supported. I'm not entirely sure how this behaves, but it'd be good to check it out. Right, I'm thinking. I also don't know if that's on import or on conversion. I have no idea. After that, brush node, right? Brush node. Geometry, is that it? Brush node, yes, yes. And that's source geometry. So Genesis 9, whoops. No, geometry is this, isn't it? Output geometry, that's it. That's reference, we don't need that. Geometry source, that's also this. And then we don't need anything else. We can just go here and say, maybe ever so slightly too large. And also strength, maybe just put that down to 15. Doodle with eyes. Yeah, sometimes on the raw body scans that are not tidied up, that are not cleaned up, this area looks pretty terrible. Haha! Ah! Phenomenal! And ears as well. Ears are sometimes really mangled. But it looks like we don't really need much of a change. I suppose the ear canal, it's, you know, sometimes nice to just restore that here. The ear canal brought back. Just in case you have this thing that when you come close to the character and you constantly keep getting this kind of gray wall disappearing, then change the, under preferences here, under camera, change the near clip plane to something. So sometimes I think the default is 1 and you have this phenomenon all the time, and that's super annoying because you can't get close. So that's under edit, preferences, and then here camera, set the near clip plane to 0.01, and then you can zoom in closer to the people. There, we're good. Oh yes, toes, crotch, good. Crevices, always a problem. Fingernails I'm gonna have a look at as well. But look, nice one. Toenails, could maybe just restore the nails a little bit here. There. If ever ZBrush stops working, this is going to be my brushing program, I tell you. That and Blender, of course. Yeah, there, that looks nice. Does it? Am I mangling it here? Yeah, I think her fingernails in the original were a little bit shaped, so I don't want to unshape them too much and destroy the wrapping. Sometimes it's actually easy to just leave things alone here. I just want to avoid geometry intersections. No guarantees that nail morphs are going to work after this. Like this is kind of, this looks like it's intersecting a little bit, so that's why I'm putting it into, you know, into good shape again, where the nail separates a little bit better from the finger. There, we'll say no more about it, it's fine. Okay, goody. Hit accept. Let's do texture conversion and texture rebaking from one figure to another. I'm looking forward to that. So, fast wrapping off, brush output on. So then, how do I do this again? Image, transfer texture, right? I think. Transfer texture needs source geometry and a target geometry and excluded polygons. So the source geometry is our scan, isn't it? And then the target geometry is whatever comes out of the brush node. Righty, that's that. In editor, in 2D viewport, yes. There we go, sweet. So this is what we've converted. And this is the original. Yeah, also that's not quite big enough. So let's make it 8K. A8192 by 8192. So it's, I mean, I can try 16K on the output. I might as well, actually. Can I actually calculate this here? Times 2? No, it doesn't let me do that. So what is that then? That's 16. 16384, is it? Is that right? I could actually just have a look at what is 16192, is it? Is that it? I'll just look in Explorer, shall I? There's the skin carpet, exactly what you've always wanted. I can barely multiply 4K times 2, but 4K times 4, I don't know what that is. No, that's not it. It's in textures. 16384. So I was right. My goodness, my brain was correct. 16384, you're correct. Good stuff. Hey, Mr. Jeremy, how's it going? So let's do that then. Skin carpet 16384 by... Ay caramba. Is a large text or no? 16384. I wonder if it's worth doing that in that size, because it does take this as well as SimpleBake quite a bit of time to bake these things, but it will retain all the resolution, so maybe we'll just go and stick with it. And then the other thing we have here is extrapolate texture, image rather, like so. And then we have no more invisible spaces between. Skin amalgamations, that's the one, yes. I was just going to say amalgamatosis. It could be a new illness. It is still working on it, so mustn't be too impatient. It might just be the unwrapping, Jeremy. I'm having second thoughts about exporting 16K. I think for the purposes of us actually getting something done, perhaps 8K might just be, you know, big enough. Watching the rain is really nice. Do you know, I have this plugin, or it's kind of a product for Unreal Engine, in which you drag in a blueprint and it just starts raining. And that's really nice. You can just watch that for hours. It's really cool. Yeah, let me go and do this here. Let me go put that down to 8192 instead. Just a little bit less waiting time here. Oh, come on. It's now doing this, even though I wasn't quite finished typing in this coordinate here. Dang. Go big or go home. That's what Christina always used to say. Absolutely. Go big or go home. Yeah, it's definitely good being bigger than 4K, because we're going to split it up into 4K maps. So 8K is probably going to be enough, especially for, you know, for the demo. There. And come on. Interesting that extrapolate image takes so much longer, doesn't it? Doom guy, how's it going? Yeah, screensaver, you know, mine is literally just the monitor goes blank. That's my screensaver. Perfect. So we've got that. Now the only other thing we now need is saving both the geometry and the texture out. So load save geometry. Let's do one here. So whatever comes out of the brush node, that's going to be our morph essentially. And that'll be here. And we're calling her... Let's just call her female 11. Perfect. Compute. Check. And then save image. And we're going to have to do this with a couple of textures as well. These are textures, and in here we'll have maybe a combined folder. I'll just call it F11 base and compute. Perfect. I think that should be that. So that's the base texture. So with a bit of luck, that in Blender should now show up, right? I mean, this is not quite the morph yet. I suppose we could bring that in. Let's just see if this actually works. I'll call this one the G9 collection. And I'll just go and import the OBJ that we've just exported there from RAP. So this would have been F11. That's the morph. I like it. And that is flat shaded. Let's make it smooth shaded. With ideally with I'll do this with node wrapper in a second, but if this here let's say body, color goes into color. Let's see if this actually works here. Yes, and textures combined, base, open. Yep, there we go. Ever so slightly bright, but yes, definitely works. That's cool. So let's go do the other maps while we're here, and then we'll use SimpleBake to put all of those onto literally a single, we can actually go and get rid of all the materials on this character here and just leave body, so then that works as a combined UV map. So, but if we have a look at our UV maps, we only have the combined one, so we need to really apply this to the original Genesis figure, because that is the one that has the various different UV maps on it. So should I maybe have called that material something else? Combined body, I'll call it. And then we can go and apply that to literally, I believe, every... No, we can't. Dang, what a shame. I have to do that again then. Okay, fine. We'll do that. We'll do that. So body... image texture. So when we have the other two, yeah, perfect. So that works on this. When we have the other two, maps, then we're going to do the baking process. But that works as well, so that's good. So, but the only thing that we need to consider is that the original UV map will look like this. So that is what we need SimpleBake for, so that it can go and bake this back onto this map, because this is essentially what we need in Dash Studio if we wanted to retain that shader. So that's crazy stuff, man. Christina, no way. We were just talking about you. We said, go big or go home. My goodness, it's been a long time. I hope you're well. How you doing? Good to see you. You could, out of art, you could, but always ask yourself, is it really worth your time to do that? I mean, how good were those textures? How worth is it to really do that? So always keep that in mind. Let me go convert the other textures here. So this is the base. Normals, body normals. I'll use the versions with knickers. I'll get into enough trouble with YouTube as it is. Good to see you again. Very good to see you. Come on, buddy. 16 key maps. They take a bit of time to load. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean, are the textures worth it? Is it worth your time to spend all that time converting them? That's what I meant. It's not. I'm not talking about the worth of the textures themselves from the olden days. That's totally not what I meant. I'll call this one F11 normals. Good stuff. Okay, that, and then go compute current frame. We would love to see something like a UDIM workflow or like a multi-texture workflow. That'd be kind of interesting to get that going, that we can could do this, literally set up all the textures and then go do that. I currently don't know how that would work in Wrap. Normals have done their thing. What have you been doing with yourself, Christina? Are you well? How are your commissions going? Specular. Roughness here. Specular. Specular. Fine. Let's go with specular. It does output 2 UDIMs, but it doesn't do all of them at the same time, right? I think that's the problem. I think. Oh, that was the moment when you came in. How interesting. How interesting. Yes, I was completely referring to you. Yes. Yeah, 3D Scanstore has some good stuff, but I must refer you to the usage license of the 3D Scanstore, which says you're not allowed to ever do anything with these characters other than doodle around personally. But look at those details, huh? Good stuff. Yes, at the very bottom here, I believe, somewheres there's some licensing. They mention specifically that you can't use whatever you're doing, no matter which license you buy, you can't use it in any character maker program. So if you had what does the personal license as well as the business and the commercial license not allow you to do is integration of our scan data into any character maker program whereby the results can be exported as 3D models in any 3D format, including but not limited to DAZ3D and Reallusion Character Creator. So just be aware, if you do use the 3D Scanstore, this is something you can use for your personal bits and pieces, and you can convert those characters so that they're posable and renderable. That's basically why we're doing this, so that we can get renders out of these characters. But it would be a hard push to expect people to do what I'm doing here in 2 hours just to start with a custom character. You can do it, but it's not just the money you pay for the scan, it's then also the time and knowledge that you need to bring to string all these programs together, and the money it costs to buy all these programs. So I suppose, you know, there's always ways. Is it worth doing is always the question. Specular. But I don't think DAZ Studio is going away anytime soon. They've just announced this interesting text prompt to 3D character engine that hopefully will be released soon, that uses, I think, DAZ Studio under the hood. That's an interesting one. It's a complete AI spin on the whole. I might just actually put this over to the top here, just so that I can make that a bit easier on me. So that'll be interesting to see where that's going, because apparently you can type something in, like, you know, make me an aging Chinese man wearing a hat, and then you tweak the text prompt until you're happy with the result, and then you go and export it out directly into the game engine or into the file format that you want it to have. Oh, I just overwritten the specular, didn't I? Duh! That's uncool. Because that's not the specular, this one's the rough now. Roughness. Gotta reload the specular now. Dang. Do you know, eventually, I think so too. Eventually, we're just going to be the consumers of AI apps, aren't we? Bastard-coated bastards with bastard filling. Type that into Midjourney, see what happens. Long live the DAZ. Yes, absolutely. So this one was actually the specular, right? So I can just go on over, save that one more time. Dang, Jay, get it together. AI can't make coffee. You say that, but then you see all the funky images that come out of Midjourney. How long is it going to take that you have a text prompt to describe to your coffee machine what you'd like to come out? Oh, is it? Nancy, I had no idea. That is very cool. Well done, DAZ. So one thing, this is something that they mentioned when this was announced on Taffy. I think we can we just quickly go there? Actually, it's on taffy.com. No, it's actually not taffy.com, it's maketaffy.com. There we go. And maybe this is the little demo here, I think. Is that demo somewhere? I'm sure it's on here. The text to character engine. I've joined the beta already. Is it in the news section? this could be it here. Yeah, this is it, the text to 3D character engine. So you type that in, and then this is basically what DAZ Studio generates in the cloud. And while you make amendments, it just goes and does this. And when you're done, you can just go and, when you're happy, you can go and click export to, you know, game engine or to file, and then you can use the character with whatever you'd like to do. And that's just really, really cool. The idea is just amazing. And what DAZ have, what nobody else has, is that they have the rights and the license to use all these things. Not only that, but also then give the artists a cut. So if you choose a character that you like and you want to buy from, they know exactly which artist made that, and they can give them exactly the royalties that are necessary. And that is what the Midjourneys and all the art breeders of this world can't do. And that's just the mega advantage, that they have this, the licensed 3D models that they can use for this stuff, and no one else has that. It's a really interesting twist, I think. And this, I suppose, maybe this is what makes them one of the top 3D companies of 2023. There's subsurface scattering. I don't know if we need that. I think I might dispense with that. Let me just go leave it at 4 maps here. Those 4. Let's see what... I'll switch this back to the combined UVs, not by Blender, because that's also incorrect. I'll go and see what Node Wrangler makes of it. I don't want to set this up myself. I think I've named these things correctly. Maybe, yes, Node Wrangler knows it all. So it goes and puts my base, my specular, my roughness map in here. And it looks like the normal is conveniently forgotten, but that might be because I haven't named it correctly. Maybe I called it normals. Yeah, maybe I should call it normal. Normal, there we go. Let me go try this again. Blender 3.6. There, normal. Ding. Yes, we have normal. Perfect. Takes a second to compile those shaders. Now we have normal maps and that. Does that look good? I can't tell. Some sharp kings. I mean, it's not the correct geometry. I'm not entirely sure if I'm happy with the head here, but I suppose that's just what it looks like, isn't it? Well, let's assume it's all good. Let's assume it's all good, and let's go and save this, and then go and use SimpleBake to bake this back into the separate UDIM tiles, and then see if we can set this up inside DAZ Studio and see if we can, you know, turn that into a usable character in the next half hour. Let's see, let's see. Jeremy, crazy question that. Possible that I'm, you know, I'm just a JI. That's actually a good project. I'd like to be the JI. I love it. Okay, let's see. We need, for the UV map here, this needs to be called SimpleBake. No, that's incorrect. It needs to be... My target UVs, I think, need to be called SimpleBake. I think. In fact, I'm going to go and save my project before I do anything. So combined by Blender, I don't think we need that anymore. So I'm just going to go and get rid of that. Let me go and save my project here before anything goes wrong, because I have a feeling that might go wrong. So female 11. Starting point. So SimpleBake works by looking at the current UVs and transferring them onto another thing. And the way so these need to be selected here with that camera icon. I need to select the correct ones. If I select this, then it's going to bake from these. We don't want that. We want to select the correct ones to bake from. But then the target ones, they need to be called SimpleBake so that it knows the kind of target UV map. And then up here in the render menu, I need to select cycles. Hope you can see all that. Let's assume you can. There we go, cycles. And I want to use my GPU for that. And the samples don't matter. I think it kind of works on that. I want to use a PBR bake. And I want to go and select my character. And bake objects, that needs to be selected. So G9 base. Then the PBR bakes, those are the maps I want to bake. So I want to do the diffuse. I don't have metalness, but I want the normal. And we want to do it in OpenGL. And we have roughness. And we also have as a specular, but I don't, the specular, there we go. So 4 of those. Let's do that. That's perfect. That's what we need, 4 maps. If you had others, you can bake others. Texture settings. So I want to go and make these 4K on output because those are UDIMs that I'm baking to. So 4K is good. I've got 8K as a, we don't want to export those. I'll do this manually. UV settings. Warning, serious bug with Blender 3.6. UVs crash. Very likely. See Blender market facts. Okay, that's good to know, isn't it? JI for president. I love it. I love it. Well, we can but try. Prefer existing UV map called SimpleBake. Check. Good stuff. That's why I've set it up. Serious bug with Blender 3.6. Good that I've got 3.5 still around. Other settings? Do I have other settings? No. Foreground, background. We can't try background. But, why don't we just go with the foreground? We'll go and see what happens. This is kind of nice if we go and open this up a little. Let's just hope this doesn't crash. And this could take a while. And this could also go wrong. I don't really know. So it'll be, it'll be interesting to see. I think meanwhile, while this is doing its thing, we can probably bring in the morph itself into Dash Studio. That should work before we do textures. So Genesis 9, and we haven't done any of the eyes yet. Let's go if we can use Morph Loader Pro to import female 11 OBJ. Let's see if it works. We want to do reverse deformations, yes. And make uniques probably okay. Morph created successfully. Yes, it's weird, isn't it? I did the last few times I tried SimpleBake, I tried background bake because I was thinking, hey, that's going to be great. And it goes, oh no, you have whatever groups enabled, and that can't be done in the background. I was thinking, okay, fine. So I never managed to actually do it. And the program always told me, no, you can't do that. I was thinking, fine. I'm okay with the foreground bake. Female 11. Oh, hello. Good stuff. It works. Female 11. Check it out. Highly illegal. Don't try this at home, kids. Alrighty, perfect. Goodie. Let's adjust the skeleton. Adjust rigging to shape. Working on it. Good stuff. Not enough flour, yes. Temperature of the oven not correct. He cannot bake, yes. Skeleton adjusted. Slider adjusted. Skeleton now moves with person. I'm not sure about the fingers here. The fingers okay? It's something that can potentially go wrong. So there's a way to adjust the bones. So this may not work correctly. But then again, it may, so we're all good. Maybe it's just something visual. So that definitely works. Other hand as well. Let's see if we can strike some poses here. I don't really like the poses that come with the Genesis 9 Starter Essentials. I gotta be brutally honest. The Genesis 8 ones I really like, but these are a little too extreme. They do work though, so I don't get any alien feet. I'm happy about that. He says, looking at alien wonky arms, what's going on? This isn't good. Alien wonk arm, what's happening here? Oh, maybe it is the bone rotation that needs to be adjusted then. Okay, let's try that then. So adjust rigging to shape, and we'll try adjust orientation. That might work better. That might work better. So on the hands, the bones don't just stick out. They should, like, the fingers should now follow the geometry. Yeah, that's a little better. Since we don't have eye issues, because we don't have eyes. Maybe that's okay. Let's go ERC freeze that slider again. See what happens. Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I think you're still an active supporter. Did you know? I think you're still an active supporter, Christina. You're always welcome there. Don't you worry. It's all good. And Art of Art needs to take the granddaughter out. That's no problem at all. It's all good. It's all good. You're all welcome to come and stay and go. It's all good. While we're doodling with 3D things, I'm looking forward to seeing what's happened in the map baking. This looks a little better, I think. So let's test some of them poses here. This was the crazy one. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay, good. Hey, that's good to know. So no alien arms. Whew. Crisis has been averted. Victorious we are. Good stuff. Having said that, fingers look okay. Yeah, it's kind of, it could do with a bit. Yeah, it's okay, actually. Just, you know, slight extremism on the finger front. Still works. Goody. Okay. Please do. Yes, please do. Have a nice sleep. We must catch up. It'll be really nice to hear your news and see where you are in your life. It'll be. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that, Christina. Super nice to see you again. You too. Take care. Bye bye. Slight case of mid-journey fingers. Well, you know, we live in an AI age, so now let's see how we do on the foreground bake is complete. 4 images have been baked. Blender has not, I repeat, not crashed. I might just go and save this project out. And I'll call this one Female 11 Post Bake. Well, there's what does this mean? I don't currently know. It means we can now go and switch over the UVs, I think, to those. And that looks bad, but that's also okay because I think now we just need to switch these images over. If the bake has actually happened the way I wanted it to. Yes, it did, but It's only done the face. It hasn't done the other UDIMs. Would I have had to tell it that separately? Yeah, probably, Jay. You probably would have need to tell him that separately. So should I? Let me go make a duplicate of that material here. Or has it done it? Has it done it? No, it hasn't. It's just that's all just the body. So copy, paste material. So it doesn't do that. Dang, why not? Is there no such thing as duplicate? There's this, actually. Just duplicate that. Perfect. Goody. So body UDIMs, I'll call it. No, it doesn't, does it? Crazy. I don't know why. I don't know why it doesn't. So this is body UDIM, so yeah, this is the face. This one's the specular. That, and then we have the roughness here. Roughness here, normal here. So I like that it's worked in principle. But it hasn't. No, it hasn't. Why did you not do the normals? Oh, normal is right. That's not good. That is not good. Anything else? Yeah, the normal hasn't baked the normal. Whoops. So that is the face for sure. Excuse the brightness, excuse the shading. The face has worked, but the other UDIMs are just not, they're just not there. So I can just about see that this is the face. Whoa. And it needs a little bit of corrections here with the eyes, but that's, you know, we can do that. But, and that matches the G9 UV map. I don't know why. Oh, they are normals. They are normals. They are not the correct normals, but there are some normals. So it has done that as well. And it's done the roughness, and but these are all the original maps, aren't they? They're not the, yeah, these are those, they're not the separate ones. So how do we do the splitting then in with SimpleBake? That's an interesting one. Might have to read up on the documentation here. Other settings, batch name, could be under UV settings, new UV advanced, pack margin, that's not what we want. I mean, the easiest way around this, I suppose, just make the normals normal. I suppose the easiest way, it's because the same material is applied to all four UDIM tiles, basically. That's why that is. So I suppose the easiest way now would just be to swap each of these UDIMs into here and let it bake this 5 times. Then we'd have it. But I'm sure there's a way to do this differently. I'm stumped. I don't know how to handle that automation. I'm sure there's got to be documentation. So what I'm saying is well, actually we can probably do L, yeah, like that. So I could just go do that, and then we just do this. Dude. And then do that. Now repeat the baking process, then do this for the legs, then repeat the baking process, and so forth until we have all the maps, and then you know, then we're good to go. I suppose that's the way to go, isn't it? Just make sure the current maps are all saved out. And then, we'll see how it goes. Emerga! Hello and goodbye. I'm glad to see you, buddy. Hey, you're good in Blender. I'm just trying to wrap my head around a little issue that I'm encountering with SimpleBake. Are you familiar with that? If you are, do let me know. If not, that's totally fine. I'm trying to bake a combined map, a combined texture set onto multiple UDIM tiles. Like, from a combined one onto multiple tiles in one go without getting manually involved. I think I might just go get manually involved while I'm thinking about it. But if there is a word and you didn't, okay, no worries. If that is another possibility, we could just go and do the baking out process in the Substance Painter. But it wouldn't do what I need. I'll do it manually. I'm okay with manual stuff. I'm accidentally in sculpt mode. That's totally not where I want it to be. Shading is where I want it to be. Save my maps out. Yeah, this is what I want. This is the face map. Save as, and we go back to textures and we put UDIMs. I'll just call it face base, maybe. Face base, and then we have face normal, not great normals, mind you, so they may have to be rebaked as it is. So we just I think we're not actually going to worry about the normals from here, because I think that's a better situation to bake the really high-res OBJ in Substance Painter and get all detail from that. I think I might just do that. So I might not actually bother about these because they're not great. I think I might take the roughness out here. Face roughness. And then we do have the specular. That might be funky. Roughness is much less funky than the face specular. That's actually a good title, isn't it? Face specular. Yes, totally correct. I'm not using the internal process. I'm using the SimpleBake plugin, which makes that a breeze. And I'm sure it has the functionality that I'm looking for. I just don't know how to use it. So I'm just going to... So basically what it does is it goes and only bakes the first UDIM tile and not the rest. So what I'm just doing is I'm just moving each UDIM tile into place, let it rebake, and then I just export things out manually. It's a little clunky, but... Since it's just a test, boom, I can probably live with it. Scenario 1, baking from normal UDIMs to UDIMs, normal UVs to UDIMs. This is easy, indeed, yes. First, you need to create a dummy tile texture to position your UVs as desired. You can then delete the dummy texture, then just change the UV mode to UDIMs on the SimpleBake panel, input your number of UDIM tiles and bake. As soon as this baking thing is done, we're going to have a look for that setting. That is great. I've actually selected the correct source tile. I haven't, have I? And where is that? I thought it would have. It just didn't jump at me. It would have made sense. It's such a cool plugin. I'm sure it has that functionality. 25% complete. 50% complete. Yeah, I've totally selected the wrong bits and pieces, haven't I? Dang. Well, then in the next episode, we're looking forward to hopefully streamlining that process a little bit, and then also baking the high-res detail with Substance Painter. I'm looking forward to trying that out as well. But Marmoset is more efficient. Okay, I haven't looked at Marmoset at all. I'm glad you're into Marmoset. It's kind of the up and coming thing. I'm still not entirely clear what it actually does. A lot, I believe, but I don't know if it's a texturing app or I just don't know enough about it. But I know a lot of people use it, so maybe if ever I have time, like in 12 years or so, I'll go look into it. I see so many people using it, but I still don't know what it does. I've looked into the Quixel Mixer. That's also an interesting application. Not quite Substance Painter, but I like this whole easy mode. You know, I'm really into easy things. Just drag that on and off you go. Substance Painter is always like headache, headache. Simple? No, we don't do simple. We do mega complicated. That's what we do. Laughs. Yes, thank you, Adobe. That's black, isn't it? Okay, let's have a look at these settings. So you say you'd imagine it's in UV settings. Could it be under special bakes? No. PBR bakes? No, that's just the types of maps we're baking. Those are the objects. Settings preset. That's just all the settings we're doing here. New UV map, we don't want to do that. Other settings, batch name. Channel packing. Oh no, we don't want to do that either, but glad to know it exists. I don't even see a field where we would put in the number of UDIM tiles, you know. Okay. Okay, so it's turning into one of those, it's a bit like 3D code. That's kind of a universal, does a lot of stuff thing. So this is what Marmoset does. Cool, I like it, I like it. It's good to have some other cool apps that do cool things, you know. Often it's really just about how does the interface gel with you and how does this one functionality that you need work for you. So I'm glad you're using it. Let me go switch the correct UVs on here and then we'll go and let it just bake that again. Why are you black? I think it'll be okay. It's just baked it black because it's nothing. It's just the wrong thing basically just came out. So go bake. Bake, buddy. As armor paint, yes, indeed, yes. I think armor paint I've tried, and that really isn't great. That is very much in its infancy in regards to basic functionality. I remember trying that. It is available on the iPad though, so that's kind of cool. But that's miles behind anything usable at the moment. Or at least it was when I tried it last year. So it sounds like very slow development there. Yeah, Quixel Mixer, I like the idea that it was so easy. So you don't have all the complex layers and all the complex menus. You basically just look for a material, you drag it on, and you have some set parameters that you can play with, like tiling and projection and stuff, and parameters like what you want your material to look like. But it's very much an intuitive kind of artist's app, I find, whereas Substance Painter is very much, you know, like a headache app. It's great. It can do really good things. I like that they have paths now, finally, but it's also like, you know, yucks. Under UV settings, big button at the top section. Okay, I'll totally do that as soon as the baking is over. I thought I looked there. I didn't quite see it. Thanks, Brian. I'm glad you're on the ball. That's very cool. Come on, bake, my man, bake. We can actually, while this is baking its thing, I'm wondering. And we can go and try to do the baking in Substance Painter now. Put a bit more music on here, you know. Two big buttons that change the options below. Okay. Let me see if this has actually worked here. It hasn't, has it? It's just still... Is it still black? Yeah, that's not good. Do I need to replace the material actually, don't I? So it's not enough to just switch out the UV map. I have to make sure the correct material is actually displayed so that the baking can work. So learn something new there. Good stuff. Still black character. But yeah, let's have a look, Brian. Let's see if we can find it. So you say under UV settings. Oh, just UDIM. Switch to UDIM, Dumbo. But it's also unswitchable, so maybe that's why it didn't register. It doesn't want to work. So this could be that big bug that they're talking about. What did we bake? We're about to bake stuff. We're about to bake stuff. Let me just go and restore this combined material here. So that is something... Oh yeah, it's all gone now, hasn't it? It's probably quicker actually if I go and just use this and then say that, and then it does that, right? Come on. Yes, much better. Okay, so with all that set up, I think I should be able to just say bake, let it do its thing once again, and let's try to do the high-res baking in Substance Painter, see if it works. Making bacon pancakes, yes. It isn't a checkbox, but yeah, this is, I don't know why it's grayed out. It's bad, isn't it? It could just be this, just for a laugh. I still have Blender 3.5. I want to check if that is in fact something I can do there. Just switch that over. Be good to know, wouldn't it? Substantial Painter. Blender, come on. Respond already. So here, I don't know if we have a... Oh, it's on here, isn't it? This hasn't updated, but that's okay. So UV settings. This also is grayed out. So how do you... Okay, won't do that then. Yeah, this is also grayed out, Brian. I don't understand how to do that then. I don't know how to get this setting. So it wasn't just me, it was just something, some other tick box I need to check somewhere. I just don't get it. It's fine. It's often the case that I don't get things. All right, so let's see if we can get this baking thing done here. Document resolution doesn't matter that much. I'll use the low-res file with the combined texture, I'm thinking. So Genesis 9 combined. No, this one here. Female 11. I'm thinking. Because that's the same... Yes, that should be that. So we do that, and then we go... And then we just go okay, don't we? And that is that. If ever it comes in. Yes, perfect. And then if we go to edit, where do we bake maps again? I've forgotten. Oh, it's in the new menu, isn't it? It's in this here, in the croissant menu. And this is where we go and load the super high res mesh, I think. That's correct, isn't it? This one here, 4 gigabytes worth of high res mesh. That'll take a moment to load. I currently don't, Daja. I currently don't do that. I've just bought Daltonbeck's animation workshop. I think Digital Art Live. Paul, he did a 4-hour course with Daltonbeck, and he does a lot of character animations. He uses his Rosie character for that, and I bought that. I'm looking forward to what he can tell us. So he used to do this in Carrara all the time. Very, very capable animator, and he switched over to Dash Studio. So I recommend that if you want to know how he does funky things with, you know, placing hands on the steering wheel and just, you know, making good-looking Dash character animations. That's probably worth having a look at. This could take a moment. Come on, buddy. This takes a while. Oh, do they? How exciting. Ooh, that is good news. Somebody contacted me from the Netherlands. He wanted to have a chat. I think he's using Optitex as well. And he had some questions. I'll put your name forward there because you've worked with that. I think it was Optitex, or was it Browseware? I don't remember. It was actually Browseware. It wasn't Optitex. You guys might be a good match to talk about it because he doesn't use animations. He just uses static models. Due to have a chat with him this week or next week. Also works for a fashion company, so it's almost ready. Oh, okay, it's freezing a lot of the time. It's just the amount of time everything takes is crazy, isn't it? Whether it's a frozen computer or not. It could also be that OBJ that I've exported there was just a little bit too high res, so I can always make that a bit lower res. And then rendering, yes, true. Which is why if we could utilize Unreal Engine for that part, that'd be just so much better, wouldn't it? It's happening. It's still loading things. Well, meanwhile, in Blender, things have baked. That is good. It's always good to have multiple apps on the go, isn't it? Let's see if it's something we can actually use. Yes, we can. Look at that. Body time. Good stuff. So body base. Normals we decided we didn't want. This is a roughness? Really? Looks like a grey image to me. Body roughness, check. And then we have body specular. Body specular. Faith Turkman. No, it's actually Fatih. Sorry, Fatih Turkman. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate that. So I'll just crack on with the manual moving tiles thing. Oh, hang on a minute. What's happened here? Why is this stuff? Why are there ears on here? Should that be like that? That shouldn't have been like that. I think I may have screwed something up there. Quite possibly. There, I think that's where they needed to be. Yeah, this may have been screwed up. I don't exactly know. Let's hope it isn't. It's just a little test anyway, so there. That should be the legs. And also make sure we're on, yeah, we're on those. That should be good. And bake. Bake more. Come on. Are we baking? Oh, it's not the bake button. Is it? The bake button is down here. Bake. Bake already. Come on. 14th time lucky. Looking not so bad, right? Let's see what's this happening. This is still loading here, so I'm not sure if we're gonna get this baked or not. I've got 5 minutes. I don't think we can make it. I don't think we can make it. This is a really high res mesh though, so I doubt it's still loading. I think it's just being difficult. Or maybe it's actually done and that thing, whoops, that thing at the bottom is just there to annoy us. I think I've just dislocated that. I didn't want to do that. Man, I've totally destroyed the interface. Now it's up there. I don't want to do that. Crazy. Okay, fine. We're actually okay with everything except for the ID map. Output size. We should say 4K. And no, we can't actually select the bake button here. That's uncool. Dang. It could well be baking too, Brian. Yes, possibly. I'm currently using one RTX 3090 Art of Art and 2 Xeon CPUs and 128 gigabytes of RAM. It's a beefy rig. And lots of fans as well. He just puts the cold coffee mug onto the workstation. It just goes and does its thing. So true, Nancy. Yeah, I have a feeling this is probably just a bit too much. I've also realized that there are this has all the materials, so ideally this mesh wouldn't have had the materials because it is just generating all kinds of stuff I don't need. So let's discard this and do the, oh, now it's come to life. Let's discard it. It's getting royally confused here. It's getting royally confused. Hey, meanwhile, the baking process has worked out okay. I mean, rather than me baking all these things out, let me just see how this looks inside DAZ Studio, at least with the head map, just to see, you know, is it actually worth continuing here? I'm just thinking. I'll go and put the color to white, so that's not gray anymore. And then let me see if I can, just on the head, just bring in all these maps here. So that'll be this one on here. Yes, look at that. That is sweet. And then we said we didn't have a normal, but we did have a roughness. Man, where are you? It's called glossy roughness. That's the one. That's the roughness. And I don't actually know where to put the specular on the shader. Does anyone know that? Where I put the specular? I mean, I could have a look, but is it glossy specular? That could be the one. I don't know. Call the EULA police. But as long as I think the thing with the EULA is, as long as I don't sell this character or in fact redistribute it to other people, if I don't share this with everyone, then I'm okay. I think as long as I do it just for my own things and, you know, share a 2D image, I think that's okay and encouraged. But everything else, I don't really know. Chris, do you know what where the specular map goes in the iRay shader? I have a feeling it's the glossy specular, but I could be super wrong about that. Let me try that. I don't use specular maps. Oh, Chris left to make the bacon. Gotcha. I don't know what color to put in here, if that makes any kind of difference. Probably in iRay. Chris left to make the bacon. So even if we don't have eyes, you know, see what this looks like in the array. Glossy specular. Same here, Chris. I'm like, you know, I'm specularist. I'm not using it. I'm not into them. Well, I mean, you know, eyes aside, and if we did have any kind of normal detail, which I guess we don't have because we don't have that normal map looks a little bit rancid. I don't have that. But, you know, as soon as we bring in that high detail, it'll be great. I tell you, great. Let me show you the detail just before we leave in my other version of Blender here. That file is so high res. Not here, not here. It was in... not here. No, not here either. Here, female 11 OBJs. This is the one I exported from ZBrush. Give Blender a second. That's the 4 GB file, so let's see what that looks like. Chris Cox is Johnny on the spot in the 3D world. I couldn't agree more. Give Chris a shout out, Brian. Chris streams 5 days a week, sometimes more, rarely less. Chris also thinks about going to Kick. I streamed yesterday on Kick for the first time. I tried that the weekend before, but internet connection broke, so it's one of those things. Woo! Yes, I had 0 viewers and I have 1 follower, so it's... discoverability is 0. But hey, you know, it's a matter of time. Haha, there we go. So this is the insane resolution. And that's the kind of detail, I'm sure that's coming out on the stream. That's the kind of detail that I'd like to bring across. Isn't that amazing? And I'm sure Substance Painter can do it. It's just maybe it can't load that file with all my other apps. So this is what I'm trying to bake into a normal map and then, you know, split it. But I will go and investigate this and see if and how SimpleBake handles those UDIMs. Brian, if you work it out, do let me know. That'll be my task for tonight and the rest of the week. Hey, thank you so much for being here. It's been a while since we've had a 3D Shenanigans working session. I always enjoyed that, the Mr. Rogers vibe. I'm trying to do more, but you know, I'm busy, so one of those things. It's one of those things. Yes, YouTube together with Kick, Chris. That could be the way to go. I'm already following you. Please follow Jay on Kick. !Kick will give you a link to that. We're looking into, just so that you know what we're talking about. Kick is a new streaming platform that many Twitch streamers escape to. Chris is streaming on Twitch and he's noticed a bit of a dip in viewership, and that's probably because both creators as well as viewers switching over to Kick because they have just so much better, just a more favorable split for creators. So it's one of those things. Have a look at that. Kick.com/Chris Cox and also kick.com/WP Guru. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with something. I don't know what yet. Have a wonderful week, and I'll bid you adieu. Take care. Bye-bye.
you'll know for sure tonight. I'm rising from my shallow grave, and I'm holding my switchblade tight, 'cause you can blast me with dynamite, but I won't rest in pieces. I'm a revenant, baby, and I'll be back. It's gonna be one pale morning, all middle of the night, when I come round to take your life. I know it will feel alright, 'cause you can bury me underground, paved over for good measure. I'm a revenant, baby, and I'll be back. He's a revenant. 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 Be sure to watch your six. I'm out with the boys tonight, and if we see your cheating face, well, you're in for a fight, my darling, 'cause you can try to drown me, babe, but I won't sleep with the fishes. I'm a revenant lady, and I'll be back. He's a revenant. 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 Watch out now! He's a revenant. I'm a revenant. He's a revenant. Let's go now! All right! He's a revenant. He's a revenant. Hands off! I'll be back. I'll be back. I'm a revenant. I hear her alright while resting my eyes, like a sigh in the night, like a maggot in the pie. She's calling my name while I give it a try, like a thin veil of rain, like a sip of fine rye. I'm a softy, softy man,